I just spent 14 days navigating the streets of Japan, and there is one bag that I carried every single day. The Bellroy Venture 6-liter sling in collaboration with Carryology Chimera edition. And it might just be the perfect daily carry sling. The Chimera is a Frankenstein of sorts. It takes the best elements of that Bellroy design and infuses them with the Carryology elements that we've all come to know and love over the years. Which is a little bit crazy because the 6-liter Venture Sling is already a Hall of Famer in its own right. One of my favorite bags is the Venture line of slings. I have the 9-liter and the 10-liter, as well as this version of the 6-liter. All of them get a really significant mileage on my back. Welcome back to another Dave Sam review. Today we are taking a look at the Chimera Carryology Bellroy Venture 6-liter sling. That is a mouthful. And we want to take a look at all of the different specs from the original 6-liter and all of the nuances or the Frankenstein nuances that take this to the next level and make this an everyday carry beast. As you can see, it's not an enormous sling, definitely like in that Goldilocks zone with that 6-liter size. It's definitely not very large. So you are definitely going to notice it. There's plenty of space inside of it. But functionally on your back, it's not something that is taking up your whole back. Doesn't feel like wearing a backpack by any means, but it's definitely gonna feel a little bit heavier. Depending on how you pack it, it is gonna feel a little bit heavier than your average 2 or 3-liter sling that you're basically just dumping your pockets into. At 6 liters, it's about 350 grams overall, so not super heavy, about the same as maybe like a heavy cell phone, if you will, when it is empty. So I know it's pretty big, cell phones being super dense. My foldable phone is maybe like 240 grams, so it's obviously it's like 50% heavier than that, but when we're talking in grams, you can barely notice the weight. You're gonna notice it a lot more as you fill this up. Being 6 liters, like I said, as a sling, you'll definitely notice the weight over those 2 or 3-liter slings. Now, if you're familiar with Bellroy bags at all, you know that they mostly use recycled nylon weave across the backpacks. That's what they're using on the top here, is their black nylon weave. But when you look at this Carryology edition, there's a few different upgrades. So first off, it's got this kind of embossed leather pattern here on the front. So it has this leather section of the bag, which is the front part. It has this attached patch here. There is a whole patch design here that you can see, and this is of course removable. Actually, the whole patch area is removable. It just has these 2 loops that you can clip in this patch directly to it. I will talk about this patch here in a little bit and my thoughts on it. The plastic side clips, so if you are familiar again with the original Bellroy version, which I'll show you, so this is the 10-liter camera version, which I've gotten, again, some pretty good use out of, just to show the differences here, right? And to show you what comes on the original or the 6-liter if you were to buy it. So if you look at the hardware on the regular one, you've got this clip system, which is like a plastic and aluminum clip system here. Really simple to use. You can just push both sides here, each being a pressure point for the clip to just pull out here. And also has one of the more innovative designs of the clip system overall. So it's like that on both sides, as you can see. And when the bag is empty and on your back, or at least has a little bit of weight in it, and on your back, these act as cinching devices. So the more unpacked the bag is, the more it'll flatten because these are cinching across or pulling and causing tension across the bag, the entirety of the bag. Additionally though, when it's full, one of the nice things is that this also just expands. So as you're filling this up, making it wider and wider, functionally, this allows for it to get just as wide as you need it to without taking away its ability to be a sling, really. One other thing on the outside that is a little bit different, and this is something you notice really right away as you're putting on the bag, is this harness system. So on the regular one, what you've got is a seatbelt material. It's a bit wider. It's probably about that wide. You got the seatbelt material that goes all the way across, and that's what you're using to really sling on your back. For this version, what they did was upgrade it to be a little more similar to the camera carry version, but it has this really nice padding here, which of course you can flip over. So wearing it over your right shoulder, over your left shoulder, really comfortable either way is comfortable for you. I love this padded strap, mostly because it is so comfortable to wear, especially when you're packing this out. Like I mentioned, it does get a little bit heavy depending on what you're putting inside of it. I'm gonna go into what I have inside of it in just a second. But this extra padding, it's not even super thick, right? This ½ inch or ½ inch or whatever of this padding here just changes the experience entirely, makes it so much more easy to wear all day than a regular sling, which really does start to eat into the top of your shoulder here, especially again as you're packing the bag out more and more. Secondly, about the harness is that it has this integrated grab handle here, which is really nice as you're walking around. Something that you can grab and use to sling the bag forward or backward, or just as a hand rest. So I found myself oftentimes just holding it like this, which was really nice as I was walking around. It made it, again, just a little bit more comfortable to have places to hold my hands. I'm the kind of person who wants to do something with my hands frequently, so having something to grab onto that's pretty easy just made it easier for me and my mental health, if you will, as I was walking around, as I was with so many people. It really helped me feel like I had everything on me and secured, I guess, in a totally different way. So things I love about this sling, honestly, it feels kind of bottomless. Even though it's 6 liters, you can put so much stuff in this. So let's start to go around all the different pockets. First and foremost, I'll start with the front pocket. This is the same on both the original and the Chimera, right? Minus this, I guess, colorful zipper pull. But functionally inside, you've got 2 nice slip pockets here. I use them for my wallet, and then the other one I was using as a bit of a variable pack, mostly because it depended on what I was putting on the inside of the bag, and this will make a lot more sense when I show you the main compartment. But I did leave this open for now, just to give myself a little breathing room on the main portion of the pocket. Internally as well, you do have a little key leash here, which additionally has some nice aluminum hardware. Not a super long leash, but totally fine if you're gonna be putting a pair of car keys or something on here, especially those newer car keys that don't actually have to take out of your pocket or whatever. This is perfect for those. We're gonna move to the main compartment, and this has one of my overall favorite features. And I believe that Bellroy, I think the only company that does this regularly on a lot of their bags and slings. But when you look at this zipper system, the zippers are actually on opposite sides when it is closed. Now this creates this awesome system whereby when I open on either side, I'm giving myself a little bit more or a little bit less space on either side. So what I mean by that is when I'm opening it, right? If I take it from the right side over to the left here, I can widely open the right side, and the left side gets a little bit more cinched here because the double zipper is closing right here. But you have this complete opening. You can see, I think you can see here, right? The zipper is really, the edge of the zipper is really far apart, but it's curved. So you don't need it to be anywhere near. And then you have this extra material here that gives it that squishability, if you will, right? So I can expand or squish it down, and with the amount of gear that I'm actually carrying in the bag. So when you look at what I am carrying, I'll just take the major thing out first, right? I was in Japan, like I mentioned, so having my camera on me at all times. This is a Q3 43 from Leica. I only say that because if you've handled one of these or a different kind of point and shoot in this category, Fuji X100s, there's the Sony RX1, 3, whatever, they have all these different names, right? Functionally, what I'm getting at is if you've got a point and shoot or a slightly larger camera, even something with interchangeable lenses, but the lens is fairly small and the body is fairly small, this is gonna be almost the perfect bag for carrying that type of camera. Like I mentioned though, I was in Japan, I needed it, I wanted it to be with me or on at all times. I never felt like the bag didn't have sufficient padding for it to be on my back. Now, did I need to be a little bit more careful when I was putting the bag down? Of course I did, right? When you're talking about really expensive cameras, you can't exercise enough caution when it comes to how you're throwing your bag around, of course. But functionally, again, it didn't bother me at all to have it in this bag with the current level of padding that comes in this bag. Would it have been more secure in this 10-liter camera sling? Sure, potentially. But this is really made for those bigger cameras, interchangeable, multiple lens carry, potentially even carrying something like a tripod. I wasn't carrying all of that, right? I wasn't going to do full-on photographer mode for this. I really just needed my one point and shoot camera and then a bunch of my other gear. So let's keep going. On either side of the zipper openings, you have this nice little slip pocket here. This is a stretchable slip pocket, which is great on both sides. On this side, I kept an extra battery. This is an Anker 5000 milliamp battery and just a simple small USB-C cable, which I could use to charge my phone or charge my camera, depending on the need that I had. So didn't bring any extra batteries with me, no new lenses, no ND filters, really simple carry, extra battery pack that could charge anything, as well as just my camera. On the other side, and just to make sure we see the space opening here, I'm gonna flip us over. So again, really easy to just opens exactly the same way on both sides and gives you that additional space. On this side, in this slip pocket, I just kept my headphones. These are the Galaxy Buds Pro 3. The 4s just came out, so might have to get those, test them. Maybe they'll be on the channel in probably not a few weeks, probably a couple months or something. All right, just moving on a little bit. So if you can see in the back here, there are a couple of additional slip pockets for pens. So I've got my pen here, easier than carrying it in my pocket. This is one of the Carryology collabs with Big Idea Design. On the back, this last slip pocket here is a zippered slip pocket, which is nice. Also a little bit stretchy. And this is where I usually kept my phone. If I didn't have it in my pocket, I would throw it in this pocket and just leave the zipper open, actually. So really easy to use that way. I could just slip it in, pull it back out, and I had no problems using my phone while it was like that, especially with this multiple zipper system. Made it a little bit easier, again, for my peace of mind, going on the train, walking around major cities, just having my bag be my security blanket, if you will, was a real peace of mind. And then the last thing inside this main compartment, and this is in the top area here, so the very top portion of the bag here, they have this wonderful, again, zippered, soft line compartment here for your sunglasses. So these are the Strata sunglasses from Sunski. Did a video on these a couple weeks ago. Fantastic sunglasses, highly recommend. This is a glasses pocket, this pocket at the top, right? It is made for glasses. It just sits at the top here. One of my favorite design features, right, is this full use of the bag. So when you're looking at all of the distribution and the pocketing in this bag, right, you've got pockets here on the back and then one on this top area here, right, which functionally just keeps everything in its place or distributed across the bag so that main compartment doesn't get cluttered with things that you're just throwing inside of it. Truly a design masterpiece when you're thinking about a sling and something that you want to be able to use any day for really versatile situations. One thing that is just on the Chimera edition, as we're looking at the inside of the bag, is this pocket across the back. So in the regular Venture 6-liter sling, you're not gonna have this locking YKK AquaGuard zipper with just this additional slip pocket in it. And this slip pocket I just use for my passport. Again, if I'm traveling in any other country, especially as a non-citizen, can be really helpful to have your passport on you. Additionally, if you want to buy anything duty-free, you are going to need your passport in order to qualify for the duty-free pricing and whatnot. So something to keep around. If I didn't have this back pocket to use, I would have used that same phone pocket for this, right? I would have slipped it in there, made sure that it was in some place that was really secure, that it couldn't just fall out of my bag or something like that. I likely would have zippered that pocket though, if I were using it regularly. Let's talk about a couple of things that I'm not so keen on. First one is Chimera specific. So if you buy the regular Venture Sling, you won't have any worries with this, but it is this patch. Though I love patches generally, I really think this one is cool. I would not have made it this extra part here. I probably would have just etched this design into the middle of this leather portion of the bag and foregone the actual patch being on here. Or I would have designed it in a way that the patch sits kind of flush with that bag or with the front of the bag there, as opposed to this sticking out. The reason for that is really simple. It just catches on tons of stuff. So for me, just a little bit annoying, right? If I wanted to wear my jacket over the bag from time to time because it was mixed weather and I wanted to be able to take my jacket off really easily, right? I couldn't just slide the bag underneath really easily, mostly because of this patch, just catching on every little thing underneath. Same thing with the train, right? If there's a bunch of people around and you're trying to swing it in front of you, it's gonna catch on somebody around you. You're gonna be saying sorry to that person. Not an issue if you're going to be buying the regular version of the Venture Sling, but if you are going to go out and buy this Chimera version, just something to know. All right, second thing I would change, or that I'm not super keen on about this bag, and this is like a double-edged sword, is it is this wonderful size, can fit a lot. The more you put in here, the more there is friction on the zippers, right? So these zippers in particular, because of this, the way they open and lock and open and close on either side, it's not always easy to get to your stuff if you don't open the zippers the right way. So you might find yourself going back and forth with zippers, depending on what it is you're trying to get, where it is in the bag. If it's really full, you're going to find yourself dumping things to get to some of the things that maybe are at the bottom or are in some of those slip pockets on the side, just because the tightness factor, the more things that you put in there, really starts to play in. All right, my verdict, 100% recommend the 6-liter Venture Sling Chimera Edition or not. This is one of my absolute favorite bags. I've done 2 other videos on Bellroy slings, and they are regularly incredible. Whoever is designing the Bellroy slings, kudos to you. You are doing a fantastic job. I would even say God's work. If you're somebody who loves carrying a sling regularly or on a daily basis, I would say the Venture line in general is probably for you. Depending on how much you carry is how you're going to determine what size you purchase. I think the 6-liter is really that hybrid sweet spot between being able to carry a lot and really just those daily carry items. So for me, this is a perfect hybrid traveler daily carry sling, especially this Chimera edition. I love the all black with the leather accents and the orange accents. The comfort is really just top tier. So when you're thinking of the Venture 6-liter sling potentially, right? You're thinking of maybe upgrading from that fanny pack, that 2-liter or 3-liter fanny pack where I'm dumping my pockets so that you can carry more. Maybe it's going to be your camera. Maybe it's going to be something else, right? A small tablet, your Kindle, any of those things, right? As you're thinking about what are those new or additional carry items I'm going to have, but maybe you don't need a full-blown backpack, the 6-liter sling is really going to meet a lot of people's needs. Standard or Chimera, I don't think that you can go wrong with either, but I would love to hear from you all in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there are other slings that you want to see videos on. I will definitely be using the hell out of this sling as well as many of my others. More videos to come on slings. While you're down there leaving comments, make sure that you like, subscribe, get notified to new videos from your boy. We'll be coming out with new videos every week, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.